Primary deviance is when a person commits a deviant action without knowing that they are going against social norms. A primary deviant only occasionally acts in a deviant way and doesn't consider themselves to be deviant. Most of the deviant acts done by the primary deviants haven't been publicly labeled as a deviant. As a result, these have little effect on the person's status or identity. Secondary deviance, however, is when a person commits a deviant action knowing it's breaking the law and social norms. This is a result of society labeling the action. Being caught and publicly labeled as a criminal can result in them being stigmatized in normal society. This could become their master status if someone views them as a criminal. A change of master status may lead to a crisis of self-identity and becoming a self-fulfilling prophecy, resulting in further deviance. As a result of secondary deviance, a convict might find it difficult to get a job and turn to a deviant subculture to achieve, which would confirm their deviant identity. This is what we call a deviant career.
Labeling theory has been applied to the representation of certain groups in the mainstream media. Interactionists argue that the media has a long history of exaggerating the deviance of youth subcultures in particular, making them seem more deviant than they actually are, which creates moral panic among the general public, which in turn leads to the authorities clamping down on the activities of those subcultures. And finally to the individuals within those subcultures responding with more deviance. In order for a moral panic to break out, the public need to believe what they see in the media and respond disproportionately, which could be expressed in heightened levels of concern in opinion polls or pressure groups springing up that campaign for action against the deviants. The fact that the public are concerned about youth crime suggests they are more than willing to subscribe to the media view that young people are a threat to social order.
Most interactionist theories focuses on the negative consequences of labeling, but I've managed to identify a more positive role for the labeling process by distinguishing between two types of shaming. Disintegrative shaming, where not only the crime, but also the criminal, is labeled as bad and the offender is excluded from society, and reintegrative shaming, where the act is labeled, but not the actor, as if to say he has done a bad thing rather than he is a bad person. A policy of reintegrative shaming avoids stigmatizing the offender as evil while at the same time making them aware of the negative impact of their actions on others. Victims are encouraged to forgive the person, but not the act, and the offender is welcomed back into the community, thus avoiding the negative consequences associated with secondary deviance.
Studies have shown how increases in policies and the attempt to control and punish young offenders can have the opposite effect. In 2000, a study in the States found there was an increasing tendency to see young offenders as evil and to be less tolerant of minor deviances. The criminal justice system has relabeled status offenses such as truancy as more serious offenses, resulting in much harsher sentences. As predicted by Lemmert's theory on secondary deviance, this has resulted in an increase, rather than decrease, in offenders. Therefore, to reduce deviance, we should make and enforce fewer rules for people to break.
God bless Becker, and God bless Lady Theory